Hey guys, this is Katya Gorbacheva, the vegan powerlifter. This Saturday, I won Best Lifter in North Carolina State's Powerlifting Championship, and today I will tell you how I did it. First things first, about the competition. So it was a USAPL drug-tested powerlifting event. You can see the results on powerlifting.org, on openpowerlifting.org, which is a database where all of the major events appear. My first squat was 165 kilos. Second was 175, and then 180. So the second and the third were both PRs. My last squat in competition was 172 kilos, and that was at Mr. America with the Vegan Strong team, with Plan Build team in October. Probably could have done 175 then, but decided to take it conservative, and it honestly blew my mind that I squatted 180. 180 is a lot of pounds. It is 397 pounds, I think. Correct me in the comments if I calculated wrong, but let me bring out the calculator so I can recalculate things as I'm talking. Boom. Great. The multiplier is 2.204, by the way, if you guys are comparing. So squats went surprisingly well based on how my prep started. My prep started with a knee injury. I have a torn meniscus on one knee, and a portion of it is removed. Unfortunately, my meniscus is torn on the inside of my right knee, and the inside of meniscus does not heal. They can try to stitch it, then you can't put pressure on that knee forever. These days, they do stitch meniscus when when the removed portion of mine, that treatment wasn't available yet. I think it was 13 or 15. And basically, my range of motion in one of my knees is limited due to that. It hurts when I run for a while. Sometimes it'll hurt when I just walk for a while. So it's just kind of one of those things that is an injury, and it will never go away. Unless you get a prosthetic knee, I guess, when technology develops. So I was doing house renovations, painting, baseboards, and just I was doing things low to the ground. So I was on my knees a lot, and I was putting my body weight on my butt when I was sitting on my knees, when I was kneeling, and doing things very low, close to the floor. So doing that repetitively and potentially twisting, moving my hips from side to side, provided enough force when the knee was bent completely, and enough twisting when there was force at the same time that my knee was like, sorry, I'm checking out. I'm just gonna hurt. And meniscus folded on itself, which it does about once a year when I do something stupid like that and I forget that I have an injury. It just folds and basically locks my range of motion in kind of this range, so I can't bend the knee all the way and I can't straighten it all the way. I can kind of exist in this slightly bent but not very bent position. It hurts for me to put pressure on the knee. I can't run, I can't squat, I can't walk very much even. So it's hard to get in my steps and do cardio and not gain weight because I am used to being very active. So if I'm limited in my activity, I'm not used to reducing my calories all of a sudden to stay at the same caloric range. I'm not in deficit, I'm maintaining usually, or gaining about a pound or two a year. So that is my goal, and I was really frustrated when I had to limit calories to make sure I don't gain weight. I didn't want to miss out on muscle gains because I was still doing bench and deadlift, but I could not squat for about a month and a half. Usually when my meniscus folds like that, it is about a week or two of discomfort, and then it just unfolds and becomes normal. But that wasn't the case this time. So yeah, that definitely did not help the beginning of this prep, when I could only deadlift heavy and bench, and thankfully did not have any pain doing so. But that is one reason why my squats were broken up in lots of sets of heavy doubles, triples, but nothing more than that. I wasn't doing a lot of sets of 4, 6, 5, stuff like that. my squats were pretty low weight percentage-wise compared to what they used to be in other preps. Like even a year ago, I was squatting more. I was getting the same volume this prep, but I was squatting more weight per set, like even a year or a year and a half ago. So that was interesting. So I wasn't banking on making any squat PRs at all, and very pleasantly surprised at 180. It still blows my mind that I squatted 180, almost 400 pounds. So truly, truly awesome. A couple of weeks before the meet, I think it was 2 weeks we tested bench, or maybe 3 weeks before the meet, we tested bench max, which was touch and go 100 kilos. It was not paused. So touch and go, I could do 100. We thought if we deload and peak correctly, maybe I could do 100 in a meet, but that would have been a very, very fortunate scenario. Unfortunately, I missed my second attempt on bench, which was a 95 kilos. So I went 90, 95 missed, and then 95 got. So I got the third attempt, but because I missed my second, I didn't get a chance to try 100. The third attempt of 95 just flew. My dad watched it and said, I'm moving the weight like it's a stick, not as if it was a barbell, because I really bridged well and I really focused. And my arching and my bridging was not very up to standard to support the bench on the second attempt. So I relaxed a little bit too much and did not get my 95, which is cool. That happens. So anyways, that is 2.5 kilo meet PR in bench. For deadlift, we started with 175. That was easy. 185, which is my current gym deadlift PR. I got that maybe half a year ago, something like that, maybe a little bit more than that, but I have not been able to do even close to that on the platform. I would rush my setup and my form would suffer. So my huge challenge question to self was whether I should set up dynamically or more statically for the deadlift. So if you go to my Instagram, you will see the reel that asks a question, jerk, no jerk. And there I compare whether I can like shake the bar a little bit and then throw my hips down and then throw my knees apart. And while my knees are being thrown apart, my hips are moving forward, and this kind of jerk sets my back and provides a little bit of more momentum to the bar off the floor. The problem is I haven't practiced that too much. This is how I got my 182.5 deadlift PR last year at the Ladies of Steel. I don't have that much experience repeating it the same every time. So we decided not to do that. Coach and I looked at my jerk, no jerk, and decided to set up smoothly, which is what I did. But the smooth setup worries me as well, because even though I set up like that more confidently than shaking the bar and throwing my butt down and knees apart and kind of aggressively picking it up from the floor, the smooth pickup I can get a little bit burnt out on. I was practicing doing faster hook when during the last 2 weeks before the meet, trying to eliminate my time at the bottom so I can just come in, approach the bar, inhale, brace, come hook, set up the back, get into position, pull the slack, and lift the weight. Spending time at the bottom when I'm setting up my hook was definitely wearing on my quads. I felt that smooth lift off of the floor wasn't as confident because my quads were a little bit tired while I was setting up the hook and slowly pulling the tension out of the bar. So faster hook setup, getting the slack out of the bar faster, were definitely the two things that helped me get the 190 kilo deadlift.
Oh! Got it! Stay tight, stay tight.
pretty happy with that. The total is 465 kilos or 1,025 pounds, which is over 1,000 pounds, which is so cool. I wanted to do a total that's over 1,000 pounds for a while. And finally, it is here. Listen, I benched 95 kilos exactly a year ago. So given my incremental progress right now, being a relatively advanced lifter, maybe you'll take me even longer to inch away at an 100 kilo bench that I also benched touch and go like a month ago, right? If it took me a year to get from 95 touch and go at the gym to 95 competition style on the platform, I guess next goals, people are already asking, what's your next goal? What's your next competition? What are you aspiring for? My biggest aspiration is to continue lifting and adding weight on the barbell, slowly but steadily but healthfully, refraining from any injuries, maintaining healthy body weight, good mood, lifting for fun like I always have been, and not torturing myself with any restringent programs or diets or anything like that. My next competition is May 4th. It is in Columbia, South Carolina. It is in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It is in CrossFit South Cherry. It is an all-ladies meet. I'm very excited for that because it was my favorite meet last year. So hopefully this year is going to be one of my favorite competitions as well. Definitely the camaraderie that I've never seen in any other meet, including the nationals. The ladies meet just had the most fun ever. So I had a lot of fun at this states meet last Saturday as well, a couple of days ago. That was also a lot of camaraderie. The majority of the competitors were girls. The majority of the judges were girls. The majority of the people, staff, organizers, volunteers, were spotters, loaders, were girls, were women. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy that the sport is shifting into a more female welcoming sport, because before you just see dudes on top of dudes, and so next goals, let's see. It would be cool to deadlift 200. I've wanted to deadlift 200 since Mr. America. That was a goal for this October, but there was a federation that used a deadlift bar, and I hate the deadlift bar. Absolutely hate the deadlift bar. Most people like it. Most people like it that it gives you a little bit more slack. I like me a stiff bar. A stiff bar lifts off the ground all at the same time. I don't need to pull slack for ages, and the bar is still on the ground. That drives me nuts. So just keep adding pounds on the bar, I guess, is the goal. And spreading the vegan message, I brought a bunch of brochures with recipes that Vegan Strong sent. And when people are like, oh, cool, like, how do you train? What do you eat? And I'm like, well, for how I train, you can follow my YouTube or ask me questions on socials that are a little bit more specific than how you train. You can download the Vegan Powerlifting Starter Guide, where I have my meal plan, powerlifting program, 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, and a bunch of other details on form and recovery. You can download that. There's a ton of recipes that are high in protein. It has the amino acid scorecard and the protein scorecard for different kinds of plant-based proteins. So use that. That's where I get my protein. So continuing to answer that in a very nice way for people who are curious about plant-based and including more of those options is another goal. Activism is something that keeps me in the sport and keeps me in the business. It's not just for me. It's definitely for me, but activism is another fun thing that adds more fun and adds more purpose and meaning to what I do. Now, to the weight cut. I cut 7 pounds. I walked around like 172 the majority of the time, and I tried to lose the weight by adding activity and eating less crap, but a week before the meet, somehow I still weighed at 169 to 170. So I freaked out. I was like, all right, we are gonna do a gut cut and a tiny slight water cut that would remove a pound or two of water and 2 pounds of poop. So it's really funny. Maybe the phone microphones indeed listen to us, because I've been getting all of the ads for get rid of your toxic poop. Oh, you're holding on to the amounts of however many pounds of toxic poop in your body. This is how you detox it. Spoiler, detox is not a thing. Gut cut is not a detox, and not a diet, and not a way to lose body fat. It is merely a way to not hold more fiber in your guts for the time of competition so that you weigh in less. There's nothing wrong with having poop inside your body because you eat food and then it becomes this mishmash, whatever is in your gut that it processes, and then slowly over time the nutrients get sucked out of that and your body discards of the rest. There is nothing wrong with that process. You're gonna have poop in your body for the majority of your time because that is just natural way of discarding whatever your body doesn't need. There's no reason to get rid of poop faster than your body needs to. I was only doing that so I could weigh in less and make weight for the competition, okay? And same thing with water weight. Water cut is not a healthy thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with cutting a pound or two. It's really bad for you if you cut water often, and if you cut like, I don't know, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. I know people who cut up to 20 pounds in water, which is crazy. Like not big people, my size people, 75 kilo people. That's crazy. But it is a personal choice. A lot of higher level athletes cut water and do gut cut pretty much every competition that is relatively high level, or if there's high stakes, or if there's prizes involved. I would say if you're a beginner lifter, don't do it. Just go have fun at whatever the weight. It might take away from your performance, but the reason why athletes do it is because when you try to lose body fat over time leading up to a competition, that can affect your performance, and you might lose a little bit of the muscle weight together with your fat weight, especially if you're already a very competitive and a very lean person. So athletes try to lose just a little bit of water and then regain that water, rehydrate, and eat food, eat carbs, have electrolytes right before stepping on the platform so they can perform better. So there is a scale of how much your performance drops from normal diet and activity, calorie deficit, cut in body weight, rather than water cut, and which one or a combination of which fits better depends on the athlete. If you want to know my opinion on what's better for you individually, you can reach out in any social media and ask me the question. Send me your stats being like, I weigh this much, I usually do this much, and I'll let you know if I think you should cut or not. The majority of the people, I would say you should not cut. You should just compete whatever the weight you're at, unless, again, you're gonna win super high stakes, you're gonna win money. So I walked around at 73 kilos before and competed in the 75 kilo weight category. Now I've gained up to 78 kilos, which is the only reason why I cut, is because I am a little bit too far from the next weight category, and I was originally going to just lose body fat, but that didn't happen. Shocker. So what is a gut cut? A gut cut is basically when you eat less fiber. So you don't have as much poop in your body because you consume, for the couple days before the competition, you will consume calories in terms of high calorie, very dense calorie foods, such as nuts, ice creams. What else did I eat? I ate chips, I ate cookies, I ate protein shakes. So my proteins, the majority of my proteins were liquid. If I consume any plant proteins, there will be quite some fiber in those, from tofu to edamame to vital wheat gluten to nutritional yeast, seitan, fake meats. That is quite voluminous, right? And I wanted to have the protein without the volume. I just wanted for my body to get the amino acids and for the body not have to break down food and hold that stuff in. So I used So Delicious ice cream for my high calorie, high fat, high carb meals. And then for protein shakes, I would do protein puddings with Plant Fusion protein, Sun Warrior protein, or Zao Nutrition protein, interchangeably depending on what I had with me that day. I would put chia seeds so that they would swell. By the way, quick tip: if you are trying to do a gut cut, like I used Coach Steve's video, which I will link in this video below, with the exact process of how to do that. He suggests almonds and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I think there's maybe one Ben & Jerry's ice cream that is vegan, but I don't like Ben & Jerry's. And there's like less selection. So Delicious ice cream, my favorite. But for nuts, he recommends almonds for your fat sources. I enjoyed a variety of fat sources, from hemp seeds to chia seeds to sunflower and pine nuts, all kinds of nuts and seeds. Almonds are fine, but I got really bored of almonds, and chia seeds just make things go through you. They make things not hold on in your gut at all. So consider chia seeds if you are doing a gut cut. Highly, highly recommend. Also, such things as dried apricots and prunes and other dried fruits help you go to the bathroom and not hold any excess poops, thus any excess weight. If you are doing a gut cut, which is very, very handy, you can eat chocolate, you can eat ice creams. Those things don't really make me go to the bathroom. It's coffee, prunes, and dried apricots and chia seeds. Try that and let me know in the comments how that worked out. So for 3 days before the meet, I was eating that. And the day before, I barely, I don't want to say barely had any water. I probably had about 2 of these of water, about 2 cups of water. Before that, I increased my water consumption slightly. I usually have about a gallon, so I probably was drinking about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons. I didn't track it very precisely. I just know that the normal bottles of water that I was drinking were completely out, and I was drinking more. So my water consumption increased just a little bit, but the majority of the water cut was due to the little water that I drank the day before. And I was getting quite hungry at the Friday night, the end of the last day of the gut cut. All the other days I was completely fine, but that's because on Friday, normally the day before the meet, I don't really eat anything. Like I don't eat anything at all, and that's kind of a impromptu gut cut, but that's not because of high density anything or poop not holding in, is because you don't eat anything extra that day. It doesn't really emaciate me because I have quite some fat storage, and the glycogen will still be in there from the day before. So I have competed fine, but this time I ate some food. I ate probably until like 2 p.m. And by the evening I got a little hungry, and I had the rice that I'd made to bring with me for the competition. So it was a whole jar of coconut cream, super fatty, salt, some other spices, rice, and TVP. So it was high fat, a little bit of protein, and rice. Lots of rice. Very carby, fatty, salty rice. I had probably half a cup of that before going to bed, and man, that was probably a bad idea because I weighed in at 74.9 kilos. So that salt held in extra water. I wasn't purposefully decreasing salt or messing with my sodium balance, but that extra salt before bed, I bet that's what almost put my weight in competition at stake. And huge warning for you guys who use cheap scales. I have 2 scales. One of them is a Withings MyFitnessPal related scale, and the other one is just a cheap Walmart scale. Both of them are wrong. I knew that both of them are wrong, but I didn't know by how much, so I just kind of assumed something average. One of them was weighing me a little bit lower. The Walmart scale was weighing me like a kilo under the whole time. And the weighting scale, which I thought was more correct, was weighing me a little bit on the higher side. Now, when I moved the Walmart scale from one bathroom to the other, both tile floors, both pretty level, the Walmart scale weighed me in at like 5 pounds over than the weighting scale. So my recommendation is find a calibrated scale somewhere in the gym or somewhere close to you. I think Burn Boot Camp usually have like a DEXA scan and whatever scale that looks like a calibrated scale. Maybe it's not. I think that's a part of the ways how they sell their stuff. It's like, ooh, let us do a DEXA. We'll do a DEXA after. See how much better, how much leaner you got. But I think they do it for free. Don't take my word for it. Let me know whether they still do if you go to Burn Boot Camp. And if you don't, where can you find a calibrated scale if you don't have one, or if you don't want to buy one? Because my weighting scale was a little bit close, but it was about half a pound heavier than the calibrated scale. So yeah, that's the story of the weight and the gut cut. But overall, I felt good. I was really missing eating fresh vegetables and fruits because the cookie ice cream diet is not very fulfilling. So the day of the meet, we went to Whole Foods and they just grabbed a bunch of berries and vegan croissant. I did grab some like peanut butter cups and stuff and Oreos, but it wasn't very satisfying to eat that. I just wanted to like stuff my face in a salad made out of 10 different vegetables. I love vegetables and I love Whole Foods. So it's funny how no matter what diet you're on, well, diet, that cut's not a diet, restriction, no matter what restriction you're on, you still crave what you can't have, even for 3 days. So yeah, my next competition is in 6 weeks, 5.5. So I will try to lose these couple pounds by activity. My boyfriend and I are gonna be biking a little bit more, so hopefully I will lose these couple pounds and not have to freak out and do the stupid gut cut, because even though it was very effective in terms of keeping my performance up, maybe losing those couple pounds is gonna drop my bench or drop my squat, but I just don't wanna freak out about the weight, man. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. I think this is all I wanted to talk about today. So yeah, thank you everybody for kind words after the meet, during the meet, for the meet. Let me know if you have any questions and what kind of videos you would like for me to make in the future. I do have a list. People requested neck and back stretches, what to do if your knees hurt but you still want to squat. I am not a doctor. I cannot advise you on what to do if you have had knee and hip surgeries. I can just talk about my personal experience and my client's experience and hope that helps. But again, you should talk to your doctor about those things, okay? Nutrition wise, where do I get my protein? As a vegan powerlifter, as a strength athlete, videos coming on that. And probably more recovery and interesting functional movement videos with Pascal, who is a good friend of mine, and he has a breathing class that is not full yet. So if you want to sign up, I will actually be taking it because I need to calm the F down. Therapy is not to be underrated, but I notice when I breathe more calmly, I instantly feel better, and I hate meditation. So Pascal also told me that the traditional meditation may not be a thing that works for everybody. We talked about this on our Instagram Live. If you want to check it out, it's still on my page. Anyways, we've talked about him enough. Check him out. The link is going to be in the description. So that's the next class I will be taking and that you should join as well. Regarding my resources, you can download the Powerlifting Vegan Starting Guide. It is free. The link is as well in the description. And please like the video. Please write a comment or tag a friend or send it to somebody who is thinking of competing in powerlifting. And of course, download any free resources that are listed in the description. If you're looking for a coach, reach out. I'm happy to help. Still taking clients. Until next one. Thanks.